Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Gusty winds in the forecast today. I'll show you when we could see some gusts anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour coming up.
Shooting and standoff. Today we'll get new information about a double shooting in Granville County. The questions we're trying to get answered about the suspect and the victims.
Difficult decisions. City leaders at Wake County schools considering how to manage its budget situation, how uncertainty about state and federal funding affect your child's education.
A lot of updates to get to here on your Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Ken Smith. It's a cold morning again.
Yes, and frosty.
But dry at least. Let's get over to meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
It's a cold start, but we're going to warm into the 50s this afternoon, so something to look forward to. But very cold out there. There's a little bit of a breeze as well. So while it's 32 in Raleigh and Durham, it feels like 24 outside. It feels like 23 in Fayetteville, and 24 is what it feels like in Rocky Mount, 29 in Goldsboro. So definitely a cold start this morning. We might see a couple of slick spots in the very extreme northern parts of our viewing area this morning on some of the side roads, the shady spots. It's really not going to be a big deal, but want to mention that Mecklenburg County, Virginia, might see a couple of slick spots. That'd probably be the only area that we'd see, and it's really going to improve today with numbers like this. It's going to be windy out there, but our high temperature climbs to 54 this afternoon. Let's talk about when those gusts will peak. It's going to be this afternoon, anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour, and that's coming with a cold front. I'll show you how cold it will get coming up, Ken.
At 8:01, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, we'll just stay on top of that situation there on I-95 in the southbound lane, even though that crash cleared. It was right here at Highway 50, right near exit 81 there in Benson. We're still seeing some lingering delays on I-95 and even on I-40 as well, since it's not far from the interchange. So if you're in a rush this morning, you might want to take the Highway 301 exit in Smithfield and work your way around Benson and back onto I-95. The other troubled spot is to the east of Raleigh on I-87, those southbound lanes. It's actually beginning to ease up just a little bit in this section of I-87, but when you widen out the view and you talk about coming from Nightdale Boulevard to the Beltline, you're looking at a 19-minute delay. So Nightdale Boulevard is actually your best bet to avoid I-87 for right now. We're seeing some heavy congestion building on US 1 North coming in from Apex around Highway 55. Also, I-40 eastbound coming in from Durham this morning. On Aviation Parkway, we're seeing some delays. And, of course, the usual troubled spot for our friends in Wake Forest, you're looking at a 12-minute delay. So factor these times in mind as you're about to head out the door. You're going into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Today, we will learn more about a shooting, an hours-long standoff in Granville County. It ended when a man accused in a double shooting shot himself. WRAL's Ali Calabar reports on what we know and the questions that we'll be looking to get answered.
The Granville County Sheriff tells us that they're planning a press conference later today. And in that press conference, we're going to be working to find out more information about this standoff that brought SBI agents, SWAT teams, and several agencies to the county. This video from Sky 5 shows the truck the shooter barricaded himself in yesterday afternoon. Granville County Sheriff Robert Fountain says deputies responded to a shooting near Franklinton around 2 p.m. 2 people were shot. Listen to this broadcastify radio traffic. Authorities are talking about the people who were shot.
Our male son and girlfriend were in the shed. A male subject came up, shot both of them. Unknown where the assailant is at this time.
Officers found the assailant, or shooter, barricading himself inside a truck nearby. Resident Tekla Sykes says she was evacuated from her home.
Cops came to my back door and evacuated me and my baby. They surrounded me and him and got us out through the woods.
The standoff ended when the shooter shot himself. Now, they are planning a press conference today at 1 p.m. WRAL will be there asking these questions. What is the condition of the victims and shooter? Also, who is involved in this incident and what led up to this shooting? We're going to be keeping you updated throughout the day. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
Some schools north of the Triangle are closed or delayed over possible icy conditions. Mecklenburg County schools in Virginia will be closed today, and Halifax County schools are on a 3-hour delay. Schools in Granville, Vance, Warren, and Northampton will operate on a 2-hour delay as well.
Happening today, Wake County school leaders facing difficult decisions about the next budget. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live outside the Wake Schools headquarters this morning. And Kelsey, the school board is facing challenges over both state and federal funding, and that could lead to cuts.
Yes, Ken, today's school leaders will be hashing out the details for next year's budget that could impact your child's school. Discussions that are happening here inside the district headquarters are really causing these school leaders to make some tough calls. School leaders are facing more than a $60 million increase in expected costs for next school year. That's partly because they expect employee salaries and benefits to go up. On top of that, state and federal funds are still in question. School leaders are now planning to make cuts. They say these cuts won't impact any educational functions that serve students in the classroom. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst explains what's being considered instead.
But it was more toward, cutting vacant nursing positions or social worker positions, repurposing digital literacy specialists who were largely at one school but who assisted the whole district.
If you want more information about the timeline for when school leaders can make their final decision, head to WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
In Halifax County now, a man is in jail accused of killing his neighbor. Skylar Jefferson III has been charged with murder. This happened in Littleton on Monday night. Police say they responded to a report of a shooting on Little Drive and found Montrell Everett dead in the street. Jefferson is being held without bond and is expected to appear in court next month.
Happening this morning, Governor Josh Stein plans to make an announcement on funding for Medicaid. 3 million North Carolinians are insured by Medicaid, but the lack of a new state budget leaving short millions of dollars. Stein responded by reducing what Medicaid pays hospitals and doctors for treating patients. But as WRAL state government reporter Will Duran reports, Stein has been losing in court over that strategy.
Judges keep saying that they don't have the authority to do this. So Stein has announced a press conference to make statements on Medicaid. We don't know yet what he's going to say, but we know that it does come in the wake of these court losses.
Of course, we will be covering Governor Stein's announcement in just a little over an hour from now. Go to the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com for any updates.
Also happening today at the state capitol, Chapel Hill school leaders will face questions from state lawmakers over accusations that the district violated the state law called the Parents' Bill of Rights. The law bans books and other materials with LGBTQ themes from some elementary school curricula. It also requires teachers to out transgender students to their parents in certain cases. Chapel Hill Carrboro school leaders say they're complying with the law, but Republican state lawmakers say that they have evidence of violations. The hearing is scheduled to start at 9 a.m.
A man is charged with a child sex crime at a Roseville school. 25-year-old Armani Fields is charged with sex offense with a child under the age of 15. The town of Roseville telling us this happened at Roseville Charter Academy back on November 6th. Fields was arrested a few weeks later on Thanksgiving. We're still trying to find out Fields' relationship to that school.
The Granville County School Board reaffirmed its decision to close Wilton Elementary School. That made a lot of people angry at last night's meeting.
Please take your conversations outside.
So the school board first voted to close the school during their December 2nd meeting. But because members are not allowed to vote virtually, and they had one member doing that, they wanted to ratify their vote to stay in line with policy. In a news release, the board cited budget realities, enrollment trends, and long-term needs of students as reasons to close Wilton Elementary. Now, some parents have started a petition calling for a certain board member or board members to resign.
Well, today, the Federal Reserve is expected to announce an interest rate cut. The central bank wraps up its two-day meeting on that decision. This move would put pressure on interest rates for mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, and other debt. It also comes as the U.S. Supreme Court considered a case that could affect the Fed. The case surrounds President Trump's attempted firing of a former FTC commissioner. The case could rule on Trump's authority over other independent agencies like the Federal Reserve.
Carolina Hurricanes got the chance to honor the 2006 Stanley Cup championship team last night at the Lenovo Center. The Stanley Cup itself was in the house for the special night. Fans got the chance to take pictures with it. Pretty cool. Before the game, Canes legend Glenn Wesley raised it up, and more than a dozen players and coaches from the 2006 team were in attendance. In the game, the Hurricanes beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-1.
Planning a 20th anniversary celebration next year. Looking forward to that. Listen, we got more to share with you right now. Protecting kids online, the dangers that social media risks could take, pointing out for children and what they want North Carolina officials to do about it.
And a crash caught on video. A plane crashes off a car on a Florida interstate. What we know about this moment leading up to the crash.
And here comes our next weather maker. It's a cold front. Ahead of it, winds are going to be picking up. It's going to be very windy today. I'll show you when we'll have some strong wind gusts coming up.
At your screen right now, you're looking at the Mega Millions number, 19, 32, 41, 49, 66, the Mega Ball 6.
Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in for Elizabeth this morning. A little bit of frost on the windshield. It might take you about 1 to 2 minutes to scrape off the frost on those cars this morning if they're parked outside. It is definitely cold outside. We still have upper 20s and low 30s right now. 29 is the current temperature in Garner, Knightdale, Rollsville, Apex. It's 31 degrees right now in Cary. And when you factor in the wind, it feels even colder. It's going to be very windy later this afternoon. Walking the dog, at least the temperature improves this afternoon for those dog walks. We'll get up to about 54 this afternoon, but those wind gusts could climb anywhere between 30 and 35 miles per hour. We have a cold front that's going to arrive late this afternoon. This southerly flow is going to warm us into the 50s, but it also comes with some of those gusty winds. I'll show you what's behind the front and how it'll feel tomorrow. Coming up, Ken.
All right, Amy, happening now, the WRAL Traffic Center is starting that southern loop of the Beltline. We're talking about these westbound lanes coming toward us this morning. There's actually a crash right near the South Saunders exit that's adding to this congestion that you're seeing right now. So you might want to factor that in mind, because right now you're looking at a 7-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. Not seeing any delays coming in from Garner, Johnston County at this hour. But you can tune us in on the radio if you're heading out right now, 101.5 HD3.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado's daughter. She accepted the Nobel Peace Prize on her mother's behalf after she said that she would not be attending the ceremony. This is her. Machado has been in hiding and has not been seen in public since January 9th, when she was briefly detained after joining supporters in a protest in Venezuela's capital. She did say in an audio recording that was posted to the Nobel Prize's website here that people had risked their lives for her to arrive in Oslo. The chair of the Norwegian Nobel Committee said that she has done everything in her power to be able to attend. And although she will not be able to reach this ceremony in today's events, we are happy to confirm that she is safe.
Okay, Michelle, thank you. The town of Fuquay-Varina is considering a plan to take millions of gallons of water from the Cape Fear River every day, and it's not sitting well with people downstream. And people got a chance to weigh in on this proposal last night. Fuquay-Varina is seeking what is called a interbasin transfer to take more than 6 million gallons a day, but it is being met with some pushback. Fayetteville Mayor Mitch Colvin says his city could not afford the impacts of that much water being taken out every day without return. He says it could lead to higher treatment costs that could slow the city's own development.
There's a way that we could support this if they would return the water to the basin. And that was, I think, the biggest discrepancy. We certainly don't mind them using it, but the agreement that they proposed was not returning almost 6 million gallons a day, which would impact us down the road.
Right now, Fuquay-Varina purchases water from Raleigh, Harnett, and Johnston counties, but officials say the supply would not be able to meet future demands with continued growth. Another public hearing for the proposal is scheduled for tomorrow night, but it will still be some time before a decision is made. A task force is calling on North Carolina lawmakers to pass a law to reduce the addictive nature of social media. Experts told the state child fatality task force that children can end up being shown harmful content on topics like self-harm and eating disorders in their social media feeds. Lawmakers passed a bill this year requiring schools to provide social media literacy lessons. Other bills on social media and chatbots haven't succeeded. Important news now if you're planning to head to the DMV soon. North Carolina drivers now have the option of renewing their state ID cards online. Eligible customers can renew online for a second time without an in-person visit. This completes the implementation of the new law, Senate Bill 245. It includes a series of enhancements, taking several services online while cutting back on wait times at DMV offices statewide.
We want you to take a look at your screen right now. New video showing a dramatic plane crash landing on I-95. This is in Brevard County, Cocoa Beach, if you're familiar with that area. The plane was trying to make an emergency landing when it hit that Toyota Camry. Now, the woman in the car was taken to Cocoa Beach Area Hospital with minor injuries. The pilot and passenger on that plane were not hurt, believe it or not. The National Transportation Safety Board says the plane lost both engines after departing from Merritt, Florida earlier. The crash is under investigation.
We are now hearing this morning from a woman who found an inmate that escaped from an eastern North Carolina detention center over the weekend. Marie Steinberg has a history of keeping her car door unlocked, and her husband, former state senator Bob Steinberg, was always reminding her to lock up. Well, when they received a notification that an inmate escaped a nearby county detention center, she locked up the house but forgot about the car. And that's when she found 23-year-old Charles Babb.
When I saw the orange jumpsuit, I knew that that was the guy that, they were hunting for.
She said, the guy that escaped from jail that we heard about last night, he's in my car. And I said, he's in your car.
Oh, one thing for sure, I've got to make sure I lock my car.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, lock it up. So the Steinbergs called 911 and police captured Babb a few houses down. Wow.
Lock the car. Well, a 90-year-old neurosurgeon is proving it's never too late to get your degree. David Kelly enrolled at UNC Chapel Hill in 1953. He had enough credits to be a sophomore and was admitted to the School of Medicine through an accelerated program. At the time, he was one class shy of his undergraduate degree. Well, he went on to be a career in neurosurgery, but always wanted to earn his bachelor's. UNC staff determined Kelly's undergraduate record matched the 1955 requirements for a bachelor's degree in chemistry. He will take part in UNC's winter commencement on Sunday. His diploma will be read class of 1955. Congratulations to him.
Yes, congrats. Well, one way to give back this holiday season is through WRAL's annual Coats for the Children campaign. Now through December 31st, we need your help to gather as many coats, hats, and gloves as possible. To find a neighborhood Jiffy Lube drop-off location near you or make a monetary donation, scan the code on your screen. You can also go to WRAL.com/coats. Help WRAL and the Salvation Army spread warmth and hope. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at conditions outside this morning. Amy, a very cold and frosty start to today.
Yeah, you need the coat, so we got to
Yes.
get those kids warm. It's a cold start. A little bit of frost out there as well. This is a live look at North Hills. At least the sun's shining. I do expect some more clouds to arrive later on this afternoon with our next front, and that next front is also going to kick up our winds a bit. Already a little breezy outside. It's cold, 32 right now in Raleigh, 31 in Fayetteville and in Rocky Mount. We have the cold front that's going to move through. Ahead of it, we have this strong southerly flow. Winds are going to gust 30 to 35 miles per hour today. And then behind the front, it's going to cool down a bit. Hour by hour today, maybe you're headed out to do some holiday shopping. It is going to be on the chilly side throughout the morning hours, but it'll warm up a little bit. Just plan for the windy conditions with gusts up to 35 miles an hour, 54 for an afternoon high today. So thawing out a little bit after some cold days. Behind the front, we do have some colder temperatures. Highs will stay in the 40s Thursday and Friday. We bounce back into the mid-50s 50s on Saturday, but we go back down into the upper 40s on Sunday. It's that time of year where we get fronts that just keep coming on through. To note with this front, it's not bringing any moisture with it, so it passes through with some gusty winds and then some cooler temperatures behind it. Morning lows, so tonight will likely stay above freezing, down to about 34 degrees, down to 30 Friday. We go up Saturday and Sunday, but look at Monday morning, a very cold start to the work week. So another front is going to arrive late Saturday into Sunday, and that's what's going to cool us down as we head into early next week. Some Christmas parades this weekend. We have one in Durham on Saturday morning. It'll be chilly, it'll feel festive. Lots of sunshine, it'll be dry for that. And the Cary Christmas Parade is in the afternoon. Lots of sunshine and temperatures will be pretty comfortable in the low 50s. Today, the big story will be those gusty winds that arrive this afternoon and then turning cooler behind the front, 55 on Saturday and cooling back down Sunday with highs in the upper 40s, Ken.
All right, Amy, happening now in the WRAL traffic center. We want to start in that southern loop of the Beltline. This crash right now on I-40 westbound. It's not far from the South Saunders Street exit. We're seeing some delays that it's causing really right now, almost all the way back to the I-40, I-440 interchange. So keep that in mind if you're about to head out, because right now you also have that northern loop of the Beltline as well, and see some congestion there as well. But take a look at this, I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us. So essentially, I wouldn't even recommend an alternate route, because things are actually moving at a nice steady clip, even though you're looking at an 8-minute delay, because once you get around Gorman Street, things slow down a bit, but then it accelerates after that. You're coming around from Garner-Johnson County, no delays whatsoever.
Okay, Ken, thank you. And we have more news just ahead now. Answering your questions. Health insurance is so important, but also complicated. 5 on Your Side explains how you can speak to professionals today for free.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. The time is 8:26. I'm Laura Levine. Let's get right over to meteorologist Amy Wilmeth with a look at the temps this morning. Amy.
It is cold out there this morning, Laura. Temperatures are in the low 30s in the Triangle, 32 in Raleigh and Durham. But there is a little bit of a breeze, and that makes it feel like 24. Feels like 23 in Fayetteville. Feels like 29 in Goldsboro and 28 in Clinton. So definitely a cold start to the day. We will warm up a little bit this afternoon, up to about 54 degrees. But it is going to be windy out there. Make sure you secure any outdoor decorations you might have up for the holidays. Check that out. Winds gusting anywhere from 30 to maybe even 35 miles per hour, Ken.
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're staying on that southern loop of the Beltline. We're talking this I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us. And even though it looks like traffic is flowing at a nice steady clip, we're seeing a little bit of a delay there in that southern loop of the Beltline. You're looking at a 7-minute delay. No delays whatsoever. You're coming in from Garner or Johnston County between Highway 36 and the Beltline. If you're using Wade Avenue to get to I-40 westbound, you're right now looking at a 4-minute delay. I'll have an update at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
Some schools north of the Triangle are closed or delayed over possible icy conditions. Mecklenburg County schools in Virginia will be closed today. Halifax County schools are on a 3-hour delay, and schools in Granville, Vance, Warren, and Northampton will operate on a 2-hour delay. We are expecting to learn new information today about a shooting and hours-long standoff in Granville County. 2 people were shot yesterday near Franklinton. The suspect locked himself inside a pickup truck for hours before shooting himself. The sheriff's office is holding a press conference today at 1. Coming up next on Fox 50, leaders with Wake schools are discussing possible changes to the next budget.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Gusty winds on the way. I'll show you when we could see gusts anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour coming up.
Plus, an hours-long standoff.
It is terrifying knowing that somebody that lives in our neighborhood is capable of doing something like that.
A man accused of shooting 2 people shoots himself hours later. The new information we're expecting to get today about the investigation in Granville County.
And possible cuts coming today. Wake County school leaders will talk about difficult decisions when it comes to the budget, what they may need to do and what it could mean for students and staff. So glad you're with us here at 8:30. We always appreciate your time. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Laura Levine. I really am taking in this beautiful sunrise here behind us in Raleigh. Hopefully the sun will warm us up a bit. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth tracking the forecast this morning, and a little bit of frost out there today, Amy.
That's right. We have some frost, maybe a little bit of snow on the grassy parts of our northern communities, but nothing like this. This is a look at some of our mountain cameras. Beautiful snow across parts of the North Carolina mountains, and they're expected to get more as we head into the next few days. Not for us. We're done with the snow for a bit. 32 the current temperature in Raleigh and Durham, but you factor in the breeze, it feels like 24, feels like 23 in Fayetteville, 26 is what it feels like in Roxborough. So it is a cold start to the day today. If you want to do some outdoor exercise, you're kind of suffering with the cold this morning, but maybe around lunchtime you could step outside, get some steps in. Temperatures will be in the upper 40s, and then by the afternoon we'll have a high around 54, but it is going to be windy out there today. This afternoon as our front approaches, that's when the winds are going to pick up. We could see gusts anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour, Ken.
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're going to stay on that southern loop of the Beltline and monitoring this crash right here on on I-40 westbound near the South Saunders Street exit. You can see the delays it's causing right there on the southern loop of the Beltline. So this is what we're looking at. These are the westbound lanes coming toward us this morning, just bumper to bumper traffic, as you can see. So you got to factor that in as you're getting ready to head out the door this morning, particularly if you're coming in from Gardner, Johnston County. You're looking at a 7-minute delay. For those of you using Wade Avenue to get to I-40 westbound right now, you're looking at a 3-minute delay. Some heavy congestion now on US 1 North coming in from Apex. You can see behind the banner the bumper-to-bumper traffic right there. So factor that in. Maybe Highway 64 might be an alternate route for you, because here's what we're looking at. Looking at a 5-minute delay if you're coming in from Apex this morning, a 9-minute delay if you're coming in from Durham on I-40 eastbound. So factor that in as you get ready to head out. So our friends in Wake Forest, as usual, you're looking at a 9-minute delay. Not bad for this time of the morning. 4 minutes if you're coming in from Nidale on I-87. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Ken, thank you. Wake County Schools is facing difficult decisions about their next budget. Right now, the school board is hearing from district leaders about the school system's financial outlook. As WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains, the school board is facing challenges over both state and federal funding, and that could lead to cuts.
Today, school leaders are hashing out the details for next year's budget that could impact your child's school. Discussions that are happening here inside the district headquarters are causing these school leaders to make some tough calls. School leaders are facing more than a $60 million increase in expected costs for next school year. That's partly because they expect employee salaries and benefits to go up. Then on top of that, state and federal funds are still in question. School leaders are now planning to make cuts. They say these cuts won't impact any educational functions that serve students in the classroom. Instead, they would eliminate vacant positions and repurpose jobs that are already on the payroll. WRAL Education Insider Emily Walkenhorst explains why school leaders are forced to do more with less.
It'll be interesting to see how this goes, largely because the school board has been, fairly generous for the budget for the last few years. There was some federal stimulus dollars that helped with that sense of comfort when it came to the budget in recent years, but those dollars went away.
For more info on the timeline for when board members can make their final decision about the budget, head to WRAL.com and click the education section. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, and Cary.
Some school districts north of the Triangle are delayed or closed today because of possible icy conditions. Mecklenburg County schools in Virginia are closed, and Halifax County schools will be on a 3-hour delay. Granville, Northampton, Vance, and Warren County schools will operate on a 2-hour delay.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, articles of impeachment against RFK Jr. Democratic Representative Haley Stevens. She filed these impeachment documents. She's running for open seat in Michigan. She formally introduced the articles against the Health and Human Services Secretary. Now, they have very little chance of advancing through the Republican-controlled House. Stevens is arguing that RFK's actions and public remarks had jeopardized public health, increased the cost of health care, and cut important medical research programs. But back in September, HHS spokesman Andrew Nixon pushed back on this, saying Secretary Kennedy remains focused on the work of improving Americans' health and lowering costs, not on partisan political stunts.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Well, leaders from Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools will be at the state legislature today to be grilled by Republican lawmakers. They accuse Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools of violating a new state law called the Parents' Bill of Rights. It bans books and other materials with LGBTQ themes from some elementary school classrooms. It also requires teachers to out transgender students to their parents in certain cases. NC Capitol reporter Will Doran says this hearing is being held to get some answers.
It's important to note that this committee can not only require them to be there, but also to testify under oath. So there's not going to be judges or a jury, but this is going to be a formal hearing where we expect to see a showdown between the two sides.
And that hearing will begin at 9 this morning in about 20 minutes here.
Also happening today, Laura, Governor Josh Stein planning to make an announcement on funding for Medicaid. The lack of a new state budget leaving Medicaid short millions of dollars. Governor Stein responded by reducing what Medicaid pays hospitals and doctors for cheating patients. But as WRAL reported last week, Stein has been losing in court over that strategy. We'll be watching Governor Stein's announcement today, happening about an hour from now, around 9:30. For updates, you can check our website in the NC Capitol section.
A man is charged with a child sex crime at a school in Roseville. 25-year-old, that is, Armani Fields, is charged with a sex offense with a child under the age of 15. The town of Roseville says this happened at Roseville Charter Academy back on November 6. Fields was arrested a few weeks later on Thanksgiving. We're still trying to find out Fields' relationship to that school.
The town of Cary is remaining silent about what its town manager is on paid administrative leave and why that is. Well, last night, the town council held a closed work session. It was expected to discuss ethics and gift policies. The session came as town manager Sean Stiegel is on paid leave. A town spokesperson says Cary paid more than $37,000 in tuition payments for Mayor Pro Tem Lori Bush's master's degree. The spokesperson says Bush has paid the money back. When asked if the money had been allocated for professional development, the town said it is, quote, still looking into that. Well, today we'll get an update after a shooting that left 2 people injured and an hours-long standoff in Granville County. Sky 5 flying over that scene last night on Pine Ridge Road near Franklinton. It ended with a man accused in that shooting shot himself as well. WRAL's Ali Kadlabar explains the update we're looking to get on the suspect and the victims.
The Granville County Sheriff tells us that they're planning a press conference later today. And in that press conference, we're going to be working to find out more information about this standoff that brought FBI agents, SWAT teams, and several agencies to the county. This video from Sky 5 shows the truck the suspected shooter barricaded himself in yesterday afternoon. Granville County Sheriff Robert Fountain says deputies responded to a shooting near Franklinton around 2 p.m. 2 people were shot. Listen to this broadcastify radio traffic. Authorities are talking about the people who got shot.
Her male son and girlfriend were in the shed. A male subject came up, shot both of them. Unknown where the assailant is at this time.
Officers found the suspected shooter barricading himself inside a truck nearby. Resident Tekla Sykes says she was evacuated from her home.
Cops came to my back door and evacuated me and my baby. They surrounded me and him and got us out for the woods.
The standoff ended when the suspected shooter shot himself. Sheriff Fountain told us last night he was in critical condition. WRAL will be at the press conference this afternoon, asking the condition of everyone involved, their identities, and what led up to this. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Classes are canceled today at a high school in Winston-Salem after a student was stabbed to death. This happened yesterday at North Forsyth High School. Deputies say it started as a fight between 2 students. The school will have crisis teams available for students and staff when they return. And Governor Josh Stein released this statement calling it shocking and horrible. He also said that he's praying for all students in the community and their loved ones.
A domestic violence case against a Durham judge may move to a different county. Chief District Court Judge Clayton Jones Jr. is charged with assault on a female and domestic violence. In a statement, his attorneys called the allegations false. Judge Jones's case could be heard in Guilford County. That discussion won't start until next year.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot is worth $930 million. That's the seventh largest prize in the game's history. It has been growing since the last jackpot when more than 3 months ago, that was. The lump sum cash value is $429 million. You can watch tonight's drawing on WRAL right before our 11 p.m. newscast. Still to come now at 8:40 this morning, changes to health care and coverage in the new year. 5 on Your Side shares how you can get your questions answered for free ahead of next week's enrollment deadline.
Also, our teacher of the week is an English teacher and Navy veteran. We'll show you why he answered the call to the classroom at East Wake Magnet High School after his military service.
And we are off to a frosty start. Let's get you a live look here over several viewing areas, parts of the viewing area that is. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth will explain the warmer temperatures we'll see later today.
Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in for Elizabeth this morning. Just a little bit of frost out there this morning. So if your car is in a shady spot this morning, you might need to scrape the windshield. Take you about 1, maybe 2 minutes, and that'd be about it. It is cold out there. Temperatures are in the 30s, but it will feel more like 20s as you step outside. There's a little bit of a breeze, but we're at 31 in Apex and in Garner and Knightdale, 30 degrees right now. In Rollsville, it's 32 in Morrisville. Hour by hour today, a little chilly walking the dog this morning, but this afternoon warms up just a little bit, pretty close to normal. 54 for the high. It is going to be windy throughout the day today. As our front arrives, it's going to kick up that southerly flow. And check this out. Winds this afternoon could gust anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per hour. Behind the front, it's going to turn colder. I'll show you more on that coming up in a bit, Kim.
All right, Amy, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We'll give you a look at some of these delayed times that we're seeing right now. If you're coming in from Durham on I-40 eastbound, we're seeing a little bit of a delay around the I-540 interchange, an 8-minute delay. For our friends in Wake Forest, you're looking at a 10-minute delay. That's in combination with the morning commute traffic lights. And things have gotten a lot better on I-87 coming in from Knightdale. Right now, you're just looking at a 5-minute delay at this hour.
Okay, Ken, thank you. Well, if you need health insurance but don't know where to start, there's a great opportunity coming up later today. 5 on Your Side is partnering with the North Carolina Navigator Consortium to help get you signed up for health insurance you can afford. Here's 5 on Your Side, Keely Arthur, with how WRAL is helping you navigate the process for free.
With big healthcare deadlines coming up, 5 on Your Side is partnering with the North Carolina Navigator Consortium for a free phone bank today to help make sure you are signed up for the plan that's best for you and your family.
By now, you know there are big changes coming to healthcare coverage in 2026. Volunteers answering the phones from 4 to 7 this evening are prepared to walk you through those changes. If you're feeling confused or unsure how you might be impacted, they're here to help.
We're the ones that are keeping up with what's going on, keeping up with the changes, and our job is to kind of just really make this as easy as possible for people to understand their options and then make the choice that's best for them and their family.
The biggest change is the cost. With the expiring of those tax credit subsidies, from 4 to 7 tonight, you can get your questions answered for free. Navigators can help you with different plan questions or set up appointments to get you signed up for coverage. The number to call, 855-733-3711.
Again, those phone lines open today at 4 p.m. You can also find the number on WRAL.com, where we will also post answers to some of the most common questions regarding coverage changes for next year. Keely Arthur, 5 on Your Side.
The man accused of setting a Virginia councilman on fire has been found mentally competent to stand trial. A judge made the ruling as the suspect, Shotzi Hayes, appeared in court. He's charged with first-degree murder. Investigators say that Hayes threw gasoline on Danville City Councilman Lee Vogler back in July, then set him on fire because he thought that he was having an affair with his wife. Vogler was flown to the ICU at UNC Health's Burn Center in Chapel Hill. He was expected to be in the hospital for at least 6 months. But he returned to his first council meeting back in October, just 3 months after this attack. Hayes is set to be back in court in January.
A new push in North Carolina aims to address the child care shortage by making it easier for teachers to enter the workforce. The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services launching 16 child care academies. It's a partnership with colleges and universities all across the state. The free program covers key health and safety trainings like CPR, first aid, SIDS prevention, playground safety, and reporting welfare concerns.
These child care academies is to provide a seamless process for new educators to meet licensure requirements. Programs can offer more spots to families. Many of our larger programs are under-enrolled because they can't find enough teachers.
Well, some of those programs are actually already up and running. For more information on how to get involved, look for this story on WRAL.com. Our Teacher of the Week can be considered a Renaissance man. He held several jobs before answering the call to the classroom. We're introducing you to an educator previously named Teacher of the Year at East Wake Magnet High School.
It's about the learning. It's not about just getting a good grade.
Before Christopher Torr worked his way into the classroom.
So one of these sentences, they're both going to agree on one of these statements.
This now English teacher spent time in the Navy, worked as a plumber, construction worker, and other jobs, until someone, he said, noticed he had a certain skill set that could work in the classroom.
One day somebody said, wow, you're really good at showing people what to do. Are you a teacher? And I was like, no, which is kind of like, never crossed my mind to be a teacher.
12 years later and still making a difference in the lives of countless students.
Oh, hey, Jefferson, how you doing?
A career Mr. Torr fell into embraced him. Last year, he was named Teacher of the Year at East Wake Magnet High School.
Some days, the kids are what keep me going, right? I might not be having the best day for whatever reason, but just as much as I'm there to support them when they need it, just when I least expect it, I get that one student that comes up and be like, hey, Mr. Torr, they check in on me.
But Mr. Torr, the lessons shared in the classroom go beyond academics.
Learning to hold themselves accountable and responsibility, whether it's at work, at home, every aspect of their lives, so that they can be successful in whatever they move on to doing.
Mr. Torr, you are WRAL's Teacher of the Week.
Turn up.
Give him a round of applause.